Hello there YouTube, thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean, this is Woodwork Journey, and today we're going to be doing a block plane review with this Pony Jorgensen block plane and comparing it to my old Stanley that was pennies from a car boot sale or something. Is this any good? Let's find out. As you will see, there are a bunch of different planes in front of me, including the cutest little thing in the world. But I know that Rex Kruger, wonderful channel, has done a review on this one, the number 4 that they made. It is quite old, and I think they may have fixed some of the things that he had issues with. But we will find out in a further video that isn't today. I'm probably going to be doing the edging plane and the little tiny dinky little apron jobby together. But today we're going to be looking at this block plane. It's a low angle block plane, and we're going to look and see if it's worth getting one of these or picking one of these old Stanleys up for next to nothing at a car boot sale or a flea market or something like that. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we're not going to spend too long comparing the two because we might have to do some stuff to sort this out, but you will notice it's all dusty and what have you because I've actually used this straight out of the box just to see if it's usable, and yeah, it's done a pretty reasonable job straight out of the box. Anyway, let's have a little look at the shapes. So I'm doing this around the camera as well, which is a little bit awkward, but I believe that this is very similar to the Lie Nielsen, whatever it's called. But we've got a slightly kind of squarer frontage going on right here rather than we have here. The rails come down further and we've got a slightly different shape under the movable jaw. Has your father, which is no big deal. On the back here, we've got sort of very similar sort of position, although here we have got the lock which allows us to take that out nice and easily, whereas on the Jorgensen we've got a screw. If you don't want to undo it, of course, what you can do is you can just wind down the blade, which we'll do in a moment. That takes me around to the back of the planes. We've got a couple of subtle differences, as you can see, but one of the most striking things is the fact that the blade on this bad boy is 3 millimeters thick, which is huge compared to the dinky little blade that we get in the Stanley. Taking them apart then, we'll undo that. We'll take out the blade, and then we've got your left and right movement and your in and out movement going on here. On this one, we've got to wind this down, this wheel right under here. That loosens everything up so we can pull the top section down like so. That can come off, and then that gives us the blade. Now what you can see is the Stanley obviously is designed to be able to be used and ground, which is why we've got different levels of setup, whereas this one not so much. But like I said, when you look at the two differences when it comes to the plane thicknesses, then you can really kind of tell why that may be. When it comes to the old Stanley, you can see, I mean, it's very dark in there, but it's all black painted. It's relatively smooth going on here, but it has rusted over the years and since I gave it a bit of a reno, so I need to get back into that again. And obviously we do have the moving mouth there, which is unlocked from so-and-so, and then we've got the little lever to move it backwards and forwards. This, so you can obviously take different size strands as you're planing. With this one, like I said, this is directly from the factory and I just used it straight away. So you can see that we've got a lot of oil going on all around here and all around here to help stop it rusting in transit. We've got the lock once again there. We've got the moving forward and back situation. We've got this marking going on here, which I'm not sure is rust since I've used it a couple of days ago or not, but that's probably my fault for not putting a de-ruster on it. And yeah, so there we go. So the movement back and forth as per normal, and that obviously goes into the back of there like so. So that pushes the blade forward and back, and that's about it. So let us see if this is flat, if the base is flat, and that's why I've got this big old bit of granite right here so we can get some stuff on it and see what's what. So what I've done there is I've just put a load of Sharpie on the underside, on the sole of this little block plane, and we'll see how flat it is. 120, 240. Okay, after very few swipes, we've got the toe here and at the heel. We have got a little bit of a curvature going in there, but let's see how we get on. Yes, I know that there's going to be some of you shouting and screaming. I've just realised that I forgot to put the blade bracket back in. Well, we don't want the blade poking out at all. We do want the tension that the blade provides on the sole. Okay, so that's where we're at with the blade in and tensioned. Yeah, we've still got that sort of concave action going on in the middle there. I mean, it's coming off. I've barely spent, I've probably spent 30 seconds doing it, and it's not far off. Still going, still got just a small amount in there. I think the bit that concerns me probably the most is, and it's not a major concern, is just this area here where it's all kind of dark and got that sort of rust on it. There's hardly anything going on around here, but here, if that's a particularly low spot, then if you're getting up into the corner of things, that might be problematic. We've still got a little way to go, but I mean, that's not too bad. I probably spent 2 minutes on it. And, you know, we've got a little bit of sort of concave going along there. Still a couple of tiny pen marks in that kind of general area. A few scrapes on the 240. And do you know what? I mean, if you're doing perfection woodworking, you would probably spend a little bit longer just to get rid of that little bit. But to be honest with you, I didn't have a problem with the way it worked before, so I'm not going to have a problem with that little bit. I'm going to give it another sort of 30 seconds or so, and then call that quits. Okay, and that's where we're going to be finishing up for today, because my little hands have still got to cope with the sharpening yet, and I won't be able to do a whole hell of a lot. But I don't think that's too bad, considering I've not done a huge amount of work to it. I think I've had to do a lot more on the base of this old Stanley when I first got this, to be honest with you. But then there was quite a lot of rust as well, so. Right, let us see what she cuts like right now, and then we'll sharpen it and look from there. Right, this is just a little bit of scrap KD sawn, 22 by 100 millimeters, 1.8 meters, obviously. So we'll just see, it's just softwood, but we'll give it a crack and see what happens. What I'm going to do before I start cutting, actually, so I'm just going to take the blade out, make sure there isn't any sort of iron filings and stuff. Yeah, you see all that sort of schmutz under there? We'll get rid of that. So when popping it together, obviously the back of the blade goes into the wheel there. That pops on top of there. Click it into place. Get it engaged. Okay, I'm going to fully open the mouth just to make sure that the blade is nice and straight coming out. And what I'm also going to do is bring that mouth so it's relatively close to the blade. Just to see how straight we are in that kind of area. Right, we'll bring it back. As I said, this is directly from the factory sharpness. I've not sharpened it. I did use it a couple of times, but I've not sharpened it. So we're getting some really nice curls coming through there. Nice and solid. A little bit thick though, so let's just back it out a touch. We can get some nice thin shavings. But can we do any better if we take the blade out and give it a sharpen? We do have the machine marks going vertically across the blade. I don't know if they're coming out under camera, but yeah, that's all happening. But we don't know how flat that back is. So once again, what I'll do is I'll use some Sharpie and we'll just go over the back of this. I mean, we're only really interested in the first kind of couple of millimeters really, but let's see how we look. I always forget to wear gloves when I'm doing this. I've got them as well, but there you go. Right, I know people will shout at me for the WD, but I don't care. All right, let's give this a little bit on the 400. So we can see that there is a little bit of a sort of a shallow in the middle there, but that's where you want it to be. So, you know, we saw that it was cutting okay without doing all of this, but I'm going to carry on and do a little bit more. I mean, all things considered, I'm pretty happy with that. You can already see the sort of the horizontal striping going on from doing the way that I'm sharpening it. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bow in the middle there, but for the seconds that I've been doing it, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so that's where I'm going to be finishing with that. Really, it's just a very fine tip anyway that you have to worry about, because if that's sort of caved in at that sort of area, when you sharpen the top bit down, then it could start kind of bowing out in the middle. So, yeah, that'll do me perfectly for fine. I quite often use the ruler trick anyway, so I don't need it to be really all that special. But we'll bang a bit of 1000 grit on it now, and then we'll hone it up, and I'll show you that in a second. So that's where we're at now. Okay, let's worry about getting the blade. I mean, that's pretty blooming sharp now already, but yeah, let's see about sharpening up even more. Looks to me like that is sharpened to 30 degrees straight off the bat. Maybe it wasn't quite 30 because I appear to be putting a slight second bevel right on the end, just there. We can see that slight secondary bevel that I'm putting on there is fairly uniform. If I can get the camera light to sort of pick it up, it just comes sort of, it's not quite there on the right hand side, but it's certainly not far off, and that's good enough to carry on going. I think we had a bit of movement there. Little bevel going on the back there, so just bosh some of that action. Okay, so I've sharpened it a little bit sort of on an angle there, but that's my fault because this was incorrectly set. But, you know, these things happen. Like I said, it's just really the end of it. As long as that's sharp and that we're all sort of relatively straight, job's a good one. So now, I did get the WD-40 off my roller, by the way. But now, what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of honing. And then we can see how sharp she is. Get a copy of the Woodworker magazine. Even though this is really thin paper, you can see that that's doing a grand job. Lovely. Thought I was just recording, turns out I wasn't. It's annoying. But yeah, this is just coming through. I'm getting really nice whispery shavings. And the result is a glassy, smooth finish that just doesn't need sanding. It's just lovely. It feels absolutely wonderful. So in conclusion, what's the first impressions of this plane? I think it's fabulous. Now, would I buy this instead of getting an old Stanley? To be honest with you, to get this cutting really, really nicely, super sharp, it was much less effort than I took de-rusting, flattening out, and all that sort of stuff with that old bad boy. So this was much, much easier. Is there more that could be done on it? Absolutely, of course there is. But straight out of the box, it comes out really, really nicely. Now, in America, I believe they are really affordable, like $30 or $40 or something. So I do hope these come across to the UK, and the reason is not everybody has access to car boot sales and stuff to pick up the old gear. Also, it's that 3mm thick blade. That's something that I'm very excited about. I really, really like that. Only time will tell whether it lasts overly well, but it does a stand-up job for now. One more thing that I would say is just get a file and go down these corners, just because they are super sharp. But otherwise, I've got no complaints. You're going to see this getting used a lot more in the future. And yeah, I look forward to letting you know more about the other planes that I've got from Pony Jorgensen at some point in the very near future. Thanks very much for joining me. Let me know your thoughts down below. Bye-bye.